Good day, everybody. So it's, as you know, 7 o'clock in the evening here in Hobart. Lots of the Hobart boats are turning up all day today, and it's 9 o'clock in France. So we hope you're having a good festive season still and having a break and so on. And yeah, lots of Hobart boats coming in today. Anyway, moving right along, this will be pretty straightforward. I mean, there's once again all the lows. This is the big one that came past Simon and Kirsten just recently. That's headed down south. Nothing along here. There's a tropical depression up in the Pacific, and cyclone season up there. So you sometimes see them, but they don't usually come this far down. But anyway, and there's a nice little dandy blow right on Cape Horn there at the moment. But again here, little bits of everything. Northwesterlies, northerlies, southwesterlies, southeasterlies, you name it. So let's see what's going to happen here. We'll pick it up with Guy. We'll start at the back end again and then work forward towards the leaders. So, that jumped twice then. Anyway, Guy is having a bit of fun there, just following along, nice breeze. He had a bit of a northerly come through, but it moved over really quickly. So he's now making 5.4 knots in the last 4 hours. He'd be happy with that, and his current situation, as in currents, he's just in amongst the thick of it at the moment. He's got through the worst of all this stuff, and now he's got everything to do with following currents and so on. He's had a bit of a boost there for a while, a big area of confusing currents, but generally going in the same direction. So he's going to miss this countercurrent here. He'll miss that, and then he's pretty much in the clear. If he stays there, he might get a few big boosts. So all looking pretty good for Guy. We can't see Elliot there. I'll try and get a couple of them on the same one as we go through. So Elliot slowed down a bit, 2.1 knots. We had a bit of a chat last night. He rang me talking about his plans in when he gets to Australia. So he's having a big, long think at the moment, exactly what he's going to do when he does get to Australia. So and he'll probably make some decisions in the next week or something. Anyway, not going super fast, but 2.1 knots is still at least moving, so he's got steerage and stuff. Only made 43 miles in the last day, and it's going to hold like that for a while. We saw that yesterday. Ian Herbert Jones, he's been doing okay, 5.6 knots. Again, still, he's this way, that way, this way, that way, rather than straight to Hobart. But that was, he's realised he's got off the end of the zone now, so he probably wants to go south. Anyway, we'll just roll this through now for the three of them and see what we've got over the next 24 hours. It's that one big system here coming up, and that's going to dictate the breeze for Ian for a couple of days. Guys got the wind swinging more to the southwest, a little bit stronger, but then backing off. So this is now 1 day ahead. So yeah, Guy's going to be trying to chase away from this area of very light winds. Elliot's going to sit there doing nothing, and Ian's going to be heading straight towards Ian Herbert Jones is going to be sitting straight towards Hobart. There's another tropical depression, sort of really tight little low here that's coming down. It's just sitting there. It's hovering. It's not moving south, but they can go right down here and head off in this direction towards Antarctica. So we'll just see how that impacts with Elliot. It's starting to come down. So this is the 31st, 2 days ahead. Ian's still sailing. Guy's probably sailing. There's a bit of a mishmash there, and this tropical depression that's heading south is heading straight for Elliot's cup of tea. So he's going to get a bit of a boost there and get moving. It looks like it's weakening, not intensifying. So by then, hopefully, he's starting to move across here with this northerly, and he'll get out of its way. This is on the 1st of January, so we're a couple of days ahead there. And that's going to dominate. It's going to chase him across a bit. So it looks like he might hook up with that. That will be interesting to watch. So it doesn't look super intense, but it is this situation where the wind can change directions really quickly. So we'll keep an eye on that. But anyway, for Guy Waits and Ian Herbert Jones, it looks like pretty plain sailing, and Elliot will have to look out, see what's happening. So we'll come back to today's weather. And Jeremy, you can see he's going to be under the influence of this whole big one here. I'll do a little indication all the way forward. That's it. He's following on the same thing, northwesterly, pretty solid. This is 2 days ahead. The heavy winds are below him. He's got a solid westerly there, so he'll be happy with that. And going right through to the 1st, yeah, he's fine. So he's got another few days of hopefully good averages. So 4.6 knots at the moment, 96 nautical miles in a day. I'm pegged him out to be doing about 100 miles a day all the way to Hobart, and that'll put him into Hobart. We discussed it yesterday at a time, I'm guessing, because somewhere between Jeremy and Ian, I've got to go to New Zealand, so I'm taking a few guesses here. I have to book flights, but that'll be fun. So we'll look forward to seeing them when they get a bit closer. So all is good. Then now let's just pick this up and have a look at what's happening to Michael here on Nuri, heading into Hobart, and we said he's probably going to slow down for a while, so there's a nice breeze there for now, doing 7.1 knots. He's probably got everything up. Looks quite gentle with this sort of northwesterly. It's not a front, it's just a big flow based around this sort of this sort of a high pressure. Come on, disappear. Come on, go away. Okay. It's a circular airflow coming around like this is a high. So what have we got? First of all, let's look at the distance for Goog. We've got about 300 nautical miles. Normally that'd be 2 days. Okay, if he does a couple, 150 miles a day, which would be pretty hectic in this average breeze at the moment. Come on, it won't log in. There it is. He did 143. So that's not too bad. So let's just toggle this forward now. In fact, we can probably... No, I can't do... Well, we'll just do Abelish as well as Michael, and then you can see what's going to happen. You can see Abelish is just sitting there drifting at the moment. He's been like that for a while. Okay, 2.2 knots. But he has made 109 nautical miles in the last 24 hours. This has all come over him very recently in the last 8 hours. So the last 2 hours, the last 12 hours, it's been quite slow for him and getting slower. So here we go. So you can see this system here is moving out to the right. This high pressure system is moving out to the east. So Abelish will have breeze. It won't be a lot of breeze, but he can get everything up and probably maintain 4 to 5 knots, maybe more. Same with Captain Goog. He's heading this way, so this is getting into late tonight, but it's going to die off for Captain Goog pretty quickly because it's blocking now in his way. This is only midnight tonight, so it's now midnight tonight. Yeah, it's in about 12 hours, 14 hours is UTC. I've swapped over there. So 12, 14 hours is going to start to slow down. Abelish is going to get moving, so that's okay. And then we'll see how long the light winds go for Goog. This is 24 hours from now. And so you can see nothing exciting happening there at all. He'll be pushing it to get 60, 70 miles in the next 24 hours. So it still leaves him a couple of 100 miles to go. So there goes the 30th. And let's see what happens. Abelish should be able to sail through this. He should keep going. He's not going to have a big average, but it's okay. He's got breeze there, so he'll do 100 miles or something. Then on the 31st, Michael's still got not a lot of wind, and when he gets it, it's going to be slightly on the nose, so that's going to slow him down as well. And so this is now onto the 31st, so it's 2 days away. So he's not making the time, so even though it's only a couple hundred miles away, he's still going to be bogged down here with light headwinds. So it won't be the first. I've been projecting for some time it'll be not the 31st, rather late in the first, or jeepers, that's not very encouraging. Late on the first or early on the second, and I think that's going to hold true because you can see here as he gets closer, even if he managed to work through this, there's not a lot of wind. He's going to do an Abelish coming in around the bottom of Tassie for sure. So my estimate there, he's going to have a few frustrations and a few cold bits. He's going to be looking like it's late on the 1st of January, or early on the 2nd, so we can follow that. But you can see it's a whole series of no wind there. Contrasting that to Abelish, I think he's going to get going and he'll stick with it as well. So we'll get another look at Abelish's weather now. So if you're planning on Goog, work on the I know his team's coming in tomorrow, I think, so they'll be happy with that. They didn't miss him. They were a bit worried about that. They're coming in from Germany or Austria. I forget exactly now, but it's they'll be here tomorrow to film the whole thing for his documentary. And right, so now we've got Kirsten, as we predicted. In fact, we'll come back to watch this. As we predicted, Kirsten headed south as quick as she could because the forecast is obviously talking about this low pressure coming across. Nonetheless, Simon's done pretty well. He's down reasonably low, doing 7.5 knots, and Kirsten's been doing 5.3 knots. So he's actually pulled away a little bit more by the look of it. Let's just measure this and see what the difference is. Yeah, 247. I think yesterday it was 220. So he's picked up another 20 odd miles in the last 24 hours. He'll be happy with that. It gives him a bit of a break. They have to, this is Snares Island here, island in the subantarctics of New Zealand. They have to leave that to port when they go past. And then when they carry on, there's another group of islands here, which is Bounty Islands. This is the Bounty group of islands, a bunch of rocks. Been there a few times, looking at penguins and seals and stuff, and all kind of fun. And then they come into the no-go zone again, which is actually a little bit further south. This is down to 47 degrees south now, so for 3 degrees further south than it was across the Indian Ocean. Anyway, let's get rid of that and look at what's going to happen with this weather. So I think everyone can see that. Yeah, that's okay. So we're just toggling this through. And you can see here's the centre of the high, very big high all across the Tasman. Simon should be getting that on the voice recorded weather reports as well, because I'll give the centre of the highs, give the actual reading in hectopascals or millibars to centre the high, and then you can work out how far in and out you are. It's covering the whole of the Tasman Sea at the moment, so it's an easy one to track, and he'll know what to expect by the direction of the wind he's got. But you can see Kirsten will hold the breeze a little bit longer, and then Simon's going to fall back into the centre. So if I look at that, which isn't far away, this is only about now 14 hours away, it's going to go over the top of Simon pretty quickly. Kirsten will keep sailing, so she may pick up that 20 odd miles, 30 miles that she lost there for a while. And Simon's going to have just enough breeze there to keep going. But here's the catch, where's it's going to go? It's going to interact with Simon pretty solidly as well. He's going to have light winds from the southwest, so he won't be making big speed, but it's right in the way of Kirsten now. It's coming straight down to block her path, so she's going to be hit pretty hard with that as well. You can see there, if she's pushing forward with this one, this is on the 31st, nearly 2 days. In fact, I'll take it through to 2 days. There's 48 hours there now, so if she managed to make even 200 miles, she would be in a position about here. So it's going to be a problem for her. By then, Simon's probably made 100 and something miles further on, so he's got light headwinds pushing up here, so there's going to be some hard work for both of them going forward. And I think they'll do well to stay in together with each other. And that's the beauty of being in the same system. You know, they effectively get impacted by the same challenges, you might say. So I think they'll be lucky to... I think Kirsten will probably take up it a little bit. She'll pick up a little bit in the next 24, 36, 48 hours. She'll get back to about 200 or something like that, 180, 190. And then we see what happens with New Zealand. Just for the record, this can be really challenging here. You can get, if there's a high pressure forms down here, you can get southeasterly winds for weeks. It's happened in 2018, but I don't think it's going to happen because we're in summer. But anyway, they'll be happy to get around the corner. I think that's probably about it. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day and have a good evening.